Ladies and gentlemen, what people aren't talking about is the following. President Trump negotiated a deal with, we'll call them the Taliban, for just because of the algorithm. Okay, the adversarial group that now controls Afghanistan, President Trump negotiated a deal to get us out May 1st. Within that negotiation, okay, and Biden just unilaterally decided to ignore that May 1st timeline and start pulling out on May 1st. For no reason other than to spite Trump. No reason at all. The adversaries there stated, if that took place, then repercussions would follow. The 13 Americans and around 200 Afghans should be alive today. That's 100% Biden's fault because there's zero reason he decided to go from May to September. It was purely arbitrary. It had no logic, no strategic thought, no nothing. It was just to spite Trump. But what they don't tell you when they're talking about the Doha Agreement, which was the agreement with the Taliban to remove Americans, all Americans, Biden could have started January 21st, and he had all of February, March, April. It didn't have to be this way. Biden and his handlers chose this outcome. It is 100% their fault. But what people don't talk about is the 1,000 Afghan captives during the prisoner swap, because there was an exchange of prisoners. Okay, and it's interesting how the same people who want to defund police and abolish prisons and the biggest hypocrites on the planet. Trump signed prison reform legislation. It was Biden who began the era of mass incarceration with the crime bill, and he helped write the section within the crime bill that was the 100-to-1 sentencing disparity. All the things that the left is talking about now, you have people like Biden who helped create. All the injustices. So it's like this gigantic racket from the Democratic Party. All they have to do is look in the mirror. But anyway, I'll read you an article, Afghan prisoner swap ends, peace talks to finally begin. This was part of the Doha Agreement. Trump let out the agreement said that Trump, or that the government in Afghanistan would let out 5,000 prisoners of the Taliban. They had to release 1,000 captives, 1,000 innocent Afghans who were captured by that group. Lord knows what they had to endure. Do you think that Democrats or anyone blaming Trump for this, which is absurd just to begin with? It's like the most ludicrous notion that he should be blamed for negotiating a peace deal that specifies May 1st we should already be done, that he should be blamed when Biden arbitrarily decides to just go past May 1st for no reason. No foreign policy, no national security objective other than chaos and mayhem. And we've seen 13 Americans lose their lives because of Biden. And Lord knows what can happen because of Biden. He's warning people and like telling people, oh yeah, this might take place. It's like, well, you're the one. You can notify everybody or get everybody prepared, God forbid. But it's like, you're the one who got us into this mess. Mashed potato brains has zero critical thinking skills. He just does whatever people around him tell him to do. But anyway, I'll read you. Authorities in Afghanistan said Thursday the last group of about 400 Taliban prisoners has been released, concluding a protracted swap between the two adversaries and finally setting the stage for Afghan rivals to launch peace talks brokered by the United States. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Nobody's talking about this. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers. Nobody is talking about this in all of YouTube, okay? This will be perhaps one of the few handful of videos, let's say, if not the only video, talking about the difference between Trump and Biden. Biden gave lists of American names. Lists of American names and Afghan names to the Taliban, who they can then give to IS and all that, and all those other groups. So you have IS, you have AQ, you have Taliban, you have all these groups that now have a list of names. Do you think they kept the list private? This is in Politico. It's all in the news. You can look it up. And I'll put the links below in the description section. But do you see the difference? Then they're blaming Trump. Well, he let out 5,000, fighters from our 5,000 of the, toughest fighters of our adversary. It's like, well, that was for a prisoner swap. And then Biden decided to completely remove, like, not only deny air support, but remove Americans and abandon the Bagram Air Base. And a whole bunch of other missteps just within the past 3-4 weeks. And he didn't even notify people on the ground. Nobody was aware. This is the thing. Not only did Biden, he coordinated more with the Taliban and others than the people who are on the ground. It was complete chaos and mayhem. That's not Trump's fault. And you can't get Democrats, you just can't get them to acknowledge their role in all of this, Biden's role in all of this. You can't get them to acknowledge that. And you can't get them to acknowledge that Pompeo, I'm not a big fan of Pompeo, but he did a good thing with the negotiated deal. Had we simply gone out May 1st, the country could have possibly fallen. It very likely would have fallen. Okay? The Afghan army might not have fallen had we provided them a certain level of support, but I don't know if for a certain time period, I don't know if even that's feasible. The country might have fallen. But that's not what we understood that very likely could have happened, or that would have happened. The issue is getting every American and every Afghan who worked with us and who risked their lives to save and help Americans out of that country. After 20 years, it took President Trump, because if Clinton was president in 2016, if she won, we would never have left. You have to understand, the furthest left and Bush's neoconservatives, so Bernie Sanders and the Lincoln Project and Bill Kristol are the same political party. This is an important point that nobody's talking about also, so hit subscribe to this channel. Let's get past 200,000 subs. If you do want to support my work, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. My latest opinion piece in the Jerusalem Post is in the pinned comment. And also, you can read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, other publications on hagoodman.com. My Patreon is there and also in the pinned comment. If you want to give a super thanks, that would be greatly appreciated. That's right next to the like and the share buttons. But Bernie Sanders, AOC, the Medicare, they want Medicare for all. They're talking about a Green New Deal. All these things they don't pass. They have the House, the Senate, the presidency. It's all a racket. It's a gigantic racket. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. The unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. I can tell you Trump was 1,000,000 times better than Bernie Sanders would have been, or AOC as president. Because he fought the system. He reversed U.S. foreign policy. We had to get out eventually. That's why I voted. It was a moral imperative to vote for President Trump. Because now we have possibly Americans left behind because of Biden. A man who slurs his speech, a man who is not cognizant of what's going on. They're muting his microphone, okay? Even if you think I'm wrong, you've stumbled upon this channel, you think I'm wrong, why are they muting his microphone when he speaks? They are embarrassed. They're utterly embarrassed of him. So what does that tell the world? Do you think the adversaries around the world, or rivals, President Xi or Putin, do you think they look at Biden and they say, okay, here's a lucid, aware, totally cognizant human being. Definitely doesn't have issues. Everyone knows and unfortunately, everyone knows from the Taliban to Putin, to Xi, to everyone on the planet, that this man, he's one fry short of a Happy Meal, or he's 5 beers short of a six-pack, or the lights are on but nobody's home. Everybody knows this. So he wasn't smart enough to understand, and neither are Trump's critics or detractors, that a prisoner swap did not lead to this. Okay? They have, if you say, oh, there's, so many tough fighters, they have more than 5,000. And there are other groups there also. We had to get 1,000 Afghans out who, Lord knows what they experienced in captivity, in Taliban captivity. So Trump freed them. Now many might not have left because of the chaotic evacuation. And now there are lists. Do you understand? There are lists now. So same people saying that Trump shouldn't have freed prisoners for a swap to get 1,000 captives to free them, innocent people, are the same people who are saying, well, you know what, Biden actually utilized our adversaries as security outside the airport in Kabul. And that's okay. Of course that's absolutely like the worst thing you could possibly do. But then again, these are the polished, good, sane, rational people who cheated Bernie Sanders and blamed Russia for 4 years. And national security now we're finding out has nothing to do with Facebook ads. Why didn't Comey or Strzok or McCabe or Clapper or Brennan or all these people notify us that this would happen? They're the intelligence community. Why didn't the intelligence community leak information the way they leaked the Steele dossier? Because they're political operatives, first and foremost. I mean, it's so obvious. But then again, you have to understand, a great many Democrats, wonderful, morally superior liberal voters, beautiful people, God bless them, they redefine national security as their political interests. But that's not the case. China could be invading or blockading Taiwan very soon. And then, God forbid that happens, what will Biden do? You think that they're going to back down with a leader, quote unquote, that doesn't know what's going on? The country, do you think that our beloved president, mashed potato brains, is leading this country? Do you really think that people are huddled around him asking for his sage advice? Maybe not. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. They completely ignored a very important element of the peace deal. They completely ignored the peace deal. And they did things their way to spite Trump, and this is what happened. Give me your thoughts. Hit subscribe. I have the best live streams every night. I have the best live streams. Most amazing people from all over the world, Australia, all over the world, Thailand. I'm very, very thankful. Nepal, it's just wonderful. Hit subscribe. Canada, hit subscribe to this channel. Be here tonight for the live stream at around 10 p.m. Pacific.